Hi everyone, welcome another week to our Spanish live lessons. The topic for this week is going to be job interviews. In Spanish, that could be entrevista de trabajo. Entrevista de trabajo. But before starting, we are gonna wait for a few minutes for more people to join us on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, I always say while I'm explaining the lesson, if you have any question, any comment, you can leave your comments and I'll be looking at them throughout the lesson and try to answer them. So yeah, don't forget to do that. Sí. Hello, Cody. ¿Cuál es tu comida japonesa favorita? So what's your favorite Japanese food? He's asking. Creo que mi comida japonesa favorita es el sushi. I mean, very common standard question, but it's true. There are some days that I just feel like I need to eat sushi. So, Ohayo gozaimasu. I cannot read your name, sorry. But good morning. Thank you for joining us. Well, we have also Eric. Hola Rosa, ¿cómo estás? Buen día desde Estonia. Hola Eric. Bien, ¿cómo estás tú? Hossein, Samad also, Vilma, hello. Welcome. So, yes, I mentioned the topic for this week is going to be job interviews. So, if you are interested in getting a job in Spain or in Latin America, I think this lesson will be useful for you. If you have any question regarding the interview process, like something you want to know, or some words maybe that you want to know how they are said in Spanish, you can leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. On Facebook we have Steve. Good morning. Buenos días. So, yeah, before starting with the lesson, I wanted to let you know that if you access our website through this URL, www.spanishpod101.com/learn, how do you say? I forgot how you say the learn with the Mark PDF. You can have access to tons of PDF cheat sheets that we have prepared to help you improve your Spanish vocabulary. But yeah, there's not only vocabulary, but also like common phrases using that vocabulary, so you can start using them in your conversation like right away. So yeah, really recommend you to either print them out or take them with you on your iPhone, tablet, or whatever device you prefer to use. If you are more old school, or yeah, if you now use your tablet for everything, you can use either of those options. So we also have Dana from the Philippines, de las Islas Filipinas. Akimitsu, buenos días. So thank you everyone for joining me today. We are gonna start with the topic for today. So as I mentioned, job interviews. In Spanish, entrevista de trabajo. Entrevista de trabajo. So job is trabajo, interview, entrevista. So yeah, maybe if you're interested in going to Spain and to Spain or Latin America and getting a job there, I think that you're gonna listen to some of the questions that we are gonna mention today. We are gonna give you 5 common questions that are asked in a job interview in Spanish, and then we are gonna tell you like some possible answers. Of course, that depends on you. We are just gonna give you the patterns, the sentence patterns, and then you complete them with your own qualities or your own experience and everything. So first, we're gonna see some questions that you will have to answer for sure. So these are very, very common. So I really recommend you to prepare them beforehand so that that you are not like surprised or don't really know what to say when they ask them to you. So the first one, very common one, I think everywhere in the world they'll start with this question. It's háblame un poco de ti. Háblame un poco de ti. So, háblame, like tell me, un poco, a bit, de ti, about you. So tell me a bit about you, like tell me something about you. So yeah, normally they want to know, I don't know, like your what you've studied, your work experiences, what has brought you there, like maybe what it is that you like, what it is that you that made you choose that job, or it's a general description of yourself and your experiences. So yes, I mentioned like the two main areas you normally explain when you are when you need to answer this question is first to talk about your studies and then your work experience. But of course, for example, like if you are doing a job interview in Spain, it would be interesting also to tell a bit about why it is that you are in Spain. But yeah, let's start with when you want to talk about your studies, which sentence you normally use. So a very common one is me gradué en. Me gradué en. So in this case, you would say this sentence and then the university you graduated from. So for example, me gradué en la Universidad de Salamanca. Me gradué en la Universidad de Salamanca. So I graduated from the University of Salamanca. So yeah, you put after that the university you graduated from. In other countries, I know that like it's very important to say which university you graduated from, because some of them have are quite famous, and that means that you are like quite intelligent and all that word. They are supposed to mean that. Of course, it doesn't really say anything, but in Spain, I feel that's not really the case. I mean, there are some good universities. There are some maybe worse universities, but like most of the universities are public universities. They like mostly all of them have like the same standards and are good. The education system is quite good. So normally it doesn't really say much, like that you graduated from one specific university or another. But yeah, I know that it depends on the country. Then the next pattern you can use is tengo una licenciatura en. Tengo una licenciatura en. So this could be I have a major in. One thing like licenciatura refers to a 5-year bachelor. Recently, the system changed in Spain and in Europe in general. Like they wanted to unify all of it, and now what we study are grados, and they are 4 years. So it's changed a bit, but of course there are people that have licenciaturas. Then we have tengo un máster en. Tengo un máster en. So I have a master's in, and then you say, what's your master in? Neuropediatría. So we have Eric saying, me gradué en neuropediatría quirúrgica. So that's in Spanish, how do you say? I don't even know. Seems very difficult. Good for you. And then the next one is tengo un doctorado en. Tengo un doctorado en. So I have a PhD in, and then you say what your PhD about. So that's when you want to talk about your studies. Maybe you can try to practice a little bit on the like leaving your comments and telling me like what you graduated from, if you have a master's on something, some PhD. Now we are gonna go to to the second one, when you want to talk about your work experience. So, one sentence you could use is, he trabajado en, y en. So, I've worked in, and you say the name of the company, and in, and the name of other company you might have worked in. So, and then you can also use tengo experiencia en, or you can also say tengo experiencia como. For example, tengo experiencia en la industria turística. Like, I have experience in the tourism sector, for example. Or tengo experiencia como traductora. Tengo experiencia como traductora. I have experience as a translator. So, yeah, that would be a way to use these sentences. So, I see Samad, me gradué en Chulalongkorn Universidad en Tailandia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, great. Thank you for using. So Hossein, I don't know if I'm again pronouncing it right. Say, please mention some majors name. For example, psicología, psychology, derecho, law, medicina, medicine, biología, biology, informática, computers engineering, which else? Like any in particular you want to know? Chemistry, química, física, physics. What else? What else? Enfermería, like nursery. Do you say nursery? Or nurse studies? Nursing? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Then second question that they might ask you in an interview is, Christine says deportivo. Yeah, ciencias del deporte, or yeah, ciencias físicas maybe. So the second question, ¿cuál es tu mayor virtud? ¿Cuál es tu mayor virtud? So that's what is your best quality. Yeah, normally they ask this question, so it's good to have it thought beforehand so that you can like really like talk good about yourself and let them know how good you are. So some sentence patterns that you can use to answer this question are soy bueno en. Soy bueno en. Or if you're a female, soy buena en. Soy buena en. For example, soy buena trabajando en equipo. Soy buena trabajando en equipo. Like, I'm good working with others in a team. Una de mis cualidades es. Una de mis cualidades es. Would be one of my qualities, one of my good points, qualities is. For example, una de mis cualidades es que soy perfeccionista. So something that a lot of people say. So perfeccionista, a perfectionist. So yeah, una de mis cualidades es que soy perfeccionista. So Eric is saying, mi mayor virtud es que soy bueno con los niños. Mi mayor virtud es que soy bueno con los niños. So my biggest quality is that I'm good with kids. Hossein is asking, formality or informality matters? You mean during the interview? Yeah, it matters. Like, if you are having an interview, you should use, you know that we have two forms for you in Spanish, the tú and usted. During an interview, it's recommended that you use usted, at least you start using it, and then if the person that is interviewing you says that it's not necessary, you can change to the to informal form. But yeah, it's important to be a bit formal to start with. So yeah, una de mis cualidades es, and the third sentence you can use is mis fortalezas son. Mis fortalezas son. So my strong points are, mis fortalezas son que soy paciente y flexible. For example, my strong points or my qualities are that I'm patient and also like flexible. And then, of course, normally when they ask you this question, they continue asking you the opposite. So that is, ¿cuál es tu mayor defecto? ¿Cuál es tu mayor defecto? So yeah, like what is your worst quality, or yeah, like the opposite to quality. So I mean, of course, like you shouldn't answer something that that I don't know, that make the other person think that you're not gonna be good at your job. But also I wouldn't recommend you to answer something like, yeah, my worst point, like my weakest point is that I'm too perfectionist, because I don't know, like I don't think the people in front of you are gonna really believe that. That doesn't sound very genuine, very sincere. So yeah, I would say that the best tactic for this would be to say something that you truly are not or that good at, but at the same time saying what you're doing to try to improve that thing, to try to make it better. So it shows that you acknowledge what your weaknesses are, but at the same time you are working to make them less so. So a sentence you can use to say that is, a veces se me hace difícil. A veces se me hace difícil. So it would be like, sometimes it is difficult for me to, por ejemplo, a veces se me hace difícil ser puntual. A veces se me hace difícil ser puntual. So sometimes it is difficult for me to be on time. And then you continue by saying, pero he aprendido a. Pero he aprendido a. But I've learned to. Pero he aprendido a. Aprendido a no llegar tarde al trabajo. I don't know, I've learned not to arrive late to work. Or, maybe. So you're saying something that you're not that good at, but at the same time you're saying something that you're doing to try to correct that. Or, So Nicholas is saying, trabajo demasiado duro. So in line with the I'm too much of a perfectionist kind of answer, trabajo demasiado duro is I work too hard. Yeah, it's another answer that some people give to this question. But who are you trying to kid? Like, they are not really gonna believe that. So I would recommend you to not really use that answer. So, we've seen already like 3 very common questions that they ask you in an interview. And before continuing with the other 2 that I have here at the right of the whiteboard, I wanted to remind you that we have prepared some PDF cheat sheets that you can have access to. by, well, clicking on the link on the description below, or also like going to this URL here. I have noted down. Well, we have some regarding like self-introductions and also business, and I think those ones would be really useful if you want to keep practicing what we are learning in today's lesson, if you want to get some more vocabulary and useful phrases that you can use in an interview. Yeah, I would recommend you to go look for that. So yeah, remember to click on the link on the description below and sign up for a free lifetime account. Yeah, as I always say, you can either print them out, then like highlight them and take notes or everything, or you can have them on your iPhone, iPad, well, or other tablets or devices that you might use, and continue learning Spanish from there. Samuel is asking, ¿puedo ver este video después de ser en vivo? So he's asking if he can watch the video after it being live, and yeah, you can watch it. It's gonna be uploaded in the channel, SpanishPod101.com, so you can watch it again there if there's something maybe that that you want to review, or it's gonna be there, so don't worry. Well, I see that Cody already is answering him. Thank you, Cody. So yeah, we're gonna see the two other questions that I have here. The fourth one is, it's a bit long. Cuéntame acerca de un momento en el que superaste un desafío en el trabajo. So again, it's a bit long. Cuéntame acerca de un momento en el que superaste un desafío en el trabajo. So we're gonna break it down a little bit. Cuéntame acerca de un momento. Cuéntame, so tell me, acerca, about, de un momento. So cuéntame acerca de un momento, tell me about a moment, en el que superaste. So it would be in a moment in which you overcame, superaste, un desafío en el trabajo. Un desafío, a challenge, en el trabajo, in your job. So tell me about a moment in which you overcame some challenge in your job. So it's the moment to talk a bit about something difficult that happened in your previous job, or well, maybe during your studies if you haven't had like any job experience yet. How you dealt with it? What did you do? So yeah, it's the moment to really show with a practical example, like what are your qualities and how you react to certain situations. Because all of this, I mean, you can kind of make it up, right? Like you can say your qualities are whichever you want to say, but then it's maybe in this question that you really show through some examples that you really have those qualities. Of course, you can also make up the example, right? But I mean, that's not the point. So yeah, I think this is an important question, and you should maybe think a bit about it beforehand, so that you can really show what your strong points are. Then the last question we have here today is, ¿dónde te ves en 5 años? ¿Dónde te ves en 5 años? So it could be, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Of course, it doesn't just mean by where, ¿dónde? It doesn't just mean a location, but also like what plans you have for yourself. Like maybe if you plan to have certain position, to have acquired something or learned something, or move to some section. I don't know, like you can really talk about all your future plans. Well, in the case if you're doing the interview in Spain or Latin America, and you say that in 5 years you don't see yourself living there, well, if the person interviewing you is really looking for someone to stay in their company for a long time, maybe if you say that question, that's not a really good one. So you have to keep that also in mind to try to see what the person interviewing you is looking for, right? To see whether the visions for you that the person hiring you and yourself have, if they match or not. So an important question, and also even for yourself, right, is good to have some certain idea of what you want to be doing in 5 years. And those were the 5 questions that I wanted to teach you today. I hope that they are useful. Let me know, I don't know if you have any plans to have a job interview in Spanish, in Spain, Latin America, or we have some remaining minutes. Like, I will like you to practice a little bit what we've learned today. So I have 3 sentences here. Tengo una licenciatura en. So you can practice by writing a comment below. So tengo una licenciatura en. If you remember, it was like I have a major in. Then tengo experiencia en, or tengo experiencia como. So I have experience in, or I have experience as. Then, una de mis cualidades es. Una de mis cualidades es. So one of my qualities or strong points is. So you can practice a little bit. So Eric, tengo experiencia como doctor. So I have experience as a doctor. Wow, great. How did you say? I don't remember now. Neuropediatric how was it? And Nicholas asks if it's difficult. Es difícil encontrar trabajo en España. Quiero vivir ahí. So he's asking if it's difficult to find a job in Spain. Well, as you might know, like we had some crises like a few years ago. Now it's getting better. So now it's easier to find a job in Spain. And well, one of the things is that the tourism sector is really developed in Spain. Like we have a lot of tourists coming in. So if you know other languages apart from Spain, like English, it can be. I think it wouldn't be very difficult maybe to find a job in that sector. So you can talk to tourists and people coming in from other countries in other languages. So that's it for today. So today we talked about the most common questions that you are asked in an interview. So, háblame un poco de ti. ¿Cuál es tu mayor virtud? ¿Cuál es tu mayor defecto? Cuéntame acerca de un momento en el que superaste un desafío en el trabajo. And the last one, ¿dónde te ves en 5 años? So, like before, saying goodbye to you, I wanted to remind you that you can have access to all the PDF cheat sheets that we have prepared for you to keep helping you learning Spanish. So you can either like click here on the link on the description below and sign up for a free lifetime account. And I can show you here. I have some of them. Like you see that they are very, very well designed. Here, for example, you have some with a lot of like tapas. So click there and you can either print them or download them and keep learning vocabulary throughout all the week. I hope to see you here also next week. So that's the 20th of June, and we are gonna see some Spanish internet slang. So I hope that you're looking forward to that, hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope I see you next week. So bye, hasta luego. Thank you for joining us.